Good morning. Big video today. Done a lot of research and it's linking ADHD and narcissism. Look, this might sound crazy, but I've definitely found something here that's absolutely worthwhile sharing. I was just looking, so what's happening is I'm speaking with someone at the moment that's been a victim of narcissism and emotional manipulation in the past, and they're a wee bit concerned actually. And after trying to sort of, because I've always known what narcissism is, and after trying to understand it a bit more, I've just realised that, of course there's a train triggering my ADHD as I make the video, but I've just realised narcissistic traits and ADHD traits can actually be linked together, unbelievably. So ADHD and narcissism linked. Well, let's discuss narcissism really quickly first. Victims of narcissism, they will go through a sort of idealization stage where they feel extremely special. The narcissist is intentionally bringing them up, putting them on a pedestal. But then once the victim is sort of locked in and maybe in love, this turns into a situation where they start to be challenged on things. They start to be broken down and manipulated to the point they start to doubt themselves and completely believe the narcissist. The narcissist is very self-centered, self-absorbed, only really takes what they think is being valid, and the victim of this then starts to suffer to the point they fully break down and effectively surrender. The narcissist can then go on to control their life with constant communication, and because they've started to hammer these emotions, they can then load them with messages and self-doubt, and it becomes a cycle of where the victim feels like they're dependent on this person, but the narcissist is sort of keeps them in but pushes them away enough to fill them with self-doubt. Now that I've explained these narcissistic traits, we'll compare them to ADHD. So ADHD can go into a hyperfixation cycle. So this is very, very similar to putting on the pedestal and the idealization. ADHD people can also have rejection sensitivity. So when they're sort of challenged or critiqued on anything, they can take that personally. And this can come across as like a confidence, self-absorbed thing, but actually it's self-doubt. However, to the person you're seeing, they might just think you're being a dick. And this sort of hyperfixation and almost dependency on patterns that people with ADHD can get can come across really, really badly. And then I think one of the other main things is people with ADHD don't really like social norms. They make a lot of decisions for themselves. In fact, usually when they're told to do something, they kind of feel like doing the opposite. And certainly when it comes to being told to do things or expected to do things, someone with ADHD probably does their own research and feels quite confident that they're making a calculated, self-educated decision on anything they do. And this can come across like they think they know best, they think they're better than anyone. And now I completely understand why ADHD and narcissism could actually be mistaken. It could be misunderstood. So we're out a swim on such a beautiful day, and you know what? It's really good to take the time to go through your thoughts and everything. I think that's one of the things about ADHD, is that you always want to understand. You always want to learn more, and it can help you, you know? It can help you. It's one of those good things. You always want to learn and understand. But the good thing is, with this girl is, I now in particular understand how some ADHD traits can be misconstrued for being narcissism. So I do think that ADHD and narcissism can actually get a bit mixed up and confused as well, even just when it comes to sort of communication. With ADHD, you're very sensitive to rejection or even things that you perceive to be rejection. Sometimes people will make a joke, a bit of sarcasm, and particularly over text message, you can get the tone wrong and really misunderstand that and think it's something personal to you. It's just how we are sometimes. However, of course, this can come across as you being a bit self-absorbed a bit aggressive, you know, saying things and getting in a conflict when a person was just sort of expressing their feelings and things like that. So that definitely is one of the issues as well. And another one is how people with ADHD show their attraction and affection to someone. We do it very literally. And this can again be compared to narcissism because it could potentially come across as like love bombing. We like to say literal compliments and do very obvious literal things. So this would be, you know, small gifts, compliments, saying what we like about them. For this person, if they've been a victim of narcissism before, they can definitely feel like this is love bombing. It's very, very similar. It's just that in narcissism, you're love bombing someone for your overall sort of end benefit and control. When you have ADHD, you're doing it because this is just how you show affection. It's how you understand it. We're not very subtle. We're definitely full on, especially if you're hyperfixated with someone. So again, this whole thing of ADHD, people showing things that can be perceived to be narcissism, is now something that I'm actually understanding quite a lot. And perhaps now is a time where it would be good if people could understand the ADHD side of it. Because at no way down the line we're thinking we're going to end up being toxic and trying to control this person and ruin their life and manipulate them. When you have ADHD, it's quite the opposite. You can see a future with them. You've analysed everything deeply very fast. If there's a connection there, you want to pursue it. And you would do anything for your love partner or potential love partner. You want to be there for them, you want them to feel comfortable. But these communication issues that I've highlighted and how we show literal love can definitely come across wrong. So what have I learned here as someone with ADHD? Well, if my potential partner has been a victim of narcissism, or anything for that matter, it's important just to listen and not assume that you fully understand it. With ADHD, you can kind of jump the gun a bit and feel like you know everything, but you don't. It's good to take time to respond, listen, hear them out and fully understand, because when you have ADHD and you fully understand, then you do become a great person. You become very attentive. You become someone that can be very worthwhile and happy in a relationship. So yeah, what you have to try and do is when you're having these sort of communications or texts or conversations with someone that's a partner or potential partner, you need to get it in your head that, look, they're not going to be hanging about or spending time with you unless they like you. Anything they say is not meant in an attack way. So it's really, really important that if they do say some things, you don't immediately jump on the defensive or start to think that they're rejecting you, that you need to be the one to initiate that by going all out and attacking. So this is something that I'm mindful of now when these types of conversations happen. I'm like, right, I'm taking this a bit personally. What do they mean by it? And honestly, I'll set my phone down for an hour, maybe let them reply again, send a bit more information. If not, you know, I'll look at it, study it, and try and break it down for what it is. Because if you read something for the first time, you can completely misunderstand it. And then it causes issues. You come across as someone that's aggressive or attacking them back or can't take any sort of light criticism or even a joke sometimes. Sometimes our minds can do these horrible things. So with a bit of patience and a bit more understanding as to how your mind works, this is definitely something that you can navigate.